Wow. You know what my funky phone did was start by itself. I didn't know it could do that. I will try to remember that. I've been challenged by my author friend Olivia Gaines to read from one chapter of a book every night this week. So that's what I'm going to do. And tonight, I should introduce myself. My name is Sylvia Hubbard, and I am a romance suspense author of over 60 books. And yeah, tonight we're going to be reading from my Red Heart book, which is part of the Heart of Detroit series. And it has to do with she comes home from a funeral, and Jode comes home from a funeral, and she just finds out her friend has been killed. She comes home because of the friend has been killed, and she's attending the funeral, and that's where the story starts off at. Well, it doesn't. It's a prologue, but I don't want to read the prologue, so we're just gonna read the first chapter. So, yeah, here we go. The room was somber as a soloist stood to sing Amazing Grace. The only family member at the funeral sat in front with no expression on his face. His sister lay in the coffin dead, since she killed herself with a bullet to the face. His best friend Jackson nudged him with an elbow, indicating someone had come that definitely deserved his attention. Jode was all Jackson said, but that was all Red Heart needed to know before his own heart began to race. He didn't turn around to see where she was, but he had a feeling she was sitting in the back. What kind of best friend doesn't show up until the last minute, he had to wonder. Just as the solo was ending, he could smell the sweetest berries on his nostril as a black suit passed him. She didn't stop until she was at the coffin, where she lowered her head and did what seemed like deep prayer. An usher was about to go to her, but Red put his hand up to stop the usher and stood up. Jackson grabbed his arm. She could still be crazy, you know. Red rolled his crimson brown eyes heavenwards and gathered himself. He hadn't spoken to her in years, and seeing her now brought back things inside him that he could never explain. Yes, she was Casey's best friend, but he did get to know her a little before his stepfather sent him away to military school. Gently, he touched her arm and was surprised to see her jerk away from his touch as if he were poison. You knew she had a problem. Why didn't you stop her sooner? She seethed, glaring at him with her beautifully light gray-greenish eyes. Weren't you her friend? He threw back. I was her only support system. She listened to her big brother, but you were never one to give a damn about anyone but yourself, were you, Stefan? He started to speak, but she turned her back to him. Her tone was so vicious. I blame myself, too. He felt like an ass. Jode was the kindest, caring person he had ever met. She had always been like that. Was it instant? She questioned, not meeting his eyes again. Did she suffer? No, the drugs took her before taking her life made it painless, he said, repeating what the investigators had assumed. And that's about a minute and a half or so. So if you want to read more, check the link in the bio down at the bottom, and join me tomorrow for another read on another book. Thank you.